Hi everyone, it's Amanda with Healthy House on the Block, and I'm here with another weekly video on creating an indoor space that really supports your health and wellness. This week, we're going to talk about taking your healthy house away from home, and specifically, I'm going to share with you some ideas to remodel a camper in a really healthy way. So our family actually really loves camping. We usually go camping in a tent, but as our kids have gotten older, we've wanted to go camping for longer periods of time, and we would love to travel to places that are a little farther away. In thinking about that, we've toyed with the idea of purchasing a pop-up camper. And when we talked about this as a family, it always turns into a project of something that we could remodel and update. And of course, where my brain goes is how can we reduce as many toxins as possible throughout this process? After all, it's a place that you're sleeping, and sometimes they are closed up and there can be toxins inside. So what I'm going to do for this week's blog post and video is walk you through not the projects themselves, but how to make projects that you find healthier versions of that. So I'm going to give you the products, materials, and tools that you're going to need to make your camper a really healthy but beautiful space. So the slides I'm going to take you through are based on this week's blog post. If you're someone who likes to read the blog post and click on links, I have that linked for you at the bottom of the video description. Otherwise, let's get started in finding out how to remodel a camper in a really healthy way. So my childhood included lots of camping in and around Minnesota and around the country. It's been something I've loved sharing with my kids as they've gotten older. And while we've done tent camping this year and in past years, we've been toying around with the idea of doing some camper camping next year and beyond so that we can do longer trips and road trips. There is no shortage of camper remodel ideas online, and it got me thinking about buying something to remodel. Of course, my brain immediately goes into research mode, thinking about what will be best for our climate and the dynamics of our family. But my brain also immediately began coming up with ways to make a camper a healthier space. A camper is literally taking your home with you when you go somewhere. And while being outdoors is far better than being inside your home realistically, there are still toxins we're being exposed to in our camping gear and campers. And the thing I love about how we can approach non-toxic spaces is that you can simply get an idea, such as a camper remodel, and then put your own healthy spin on it. I have dreamed about camper remodel projects for the past few summers now, and so I've saved the camper remodel ideas that I've seen here and there. All it takes for me is to alter the product or material that is used slightly so that it's a non-toxic version, and I've not only reduced toxins inside the small camper space, but I've also added beauty and functionality. Whether you're ready to go do a camper remodel right now, or you're just in the dreaming stages like I am, I hope that this video will be helpful to understand the toxins and how to reduce them. So campers, due to their functionality, use a lot of plywood and particle board. This is mostly because they need to be light enough to pull behind a vehicle. Adding solid wood is going to create a big problem in terms of how the camper can be pulled and towed. Plywood and particle board are definitely building materials you want to avoid if you can. Not only do they contain VOCs, but they also contain formaldehyde, which is a known carcinogen. One of the reasons this matters so much in a camper is because campers are often warm and very few air exchanges happen when it's closed up. This means that not only are VOCs and formaldehyde off-gassing at a higher rate due to the heat, but the toxins have no place to escape and no way of being diluted. Standard foam is another toxin-containing element in campers. Many typical foams or conventional memory foam they're primarily made of polyurethane and petroleum products, which contain VOCs. The process to create polyurethane foam involves the use of toxic substances such as isokinates that have been linked to an increased risk of tumors and are possibly carcinogenic. Formaldehyde is another toxin that is often added to mattresses to create a stain-resistant top layer. Formaldehyde is damaging to the nervous system, as well as a known carcinogen. Standard foam can also contain chemical flame retardants that are both carcinogenic in nature and disrupt hormone production. Flooring finishes like carpet and vinyl contain a number of toxins ranging from flame retardants to toxic polyvinyl chloride and formaldehyde. And again, because the camper can get hot and be a fairly closed up space, it can mean that these toxins are off-gassing at a high rate, and also toxins aren't escaping from the camper, but they're staying inside. Carpet inside can also have a toxic pad underneath it, which has VOCs off-gassing from the material. Hard surface flooring is usually a vinyl that will also have VOCs present, as well as PVC toxins. Once you get into your camper remodel project, you'll likely spot where you have exposed plywood and particle board. This is a great time to begin using AFM SafeCoat Safe Seal, which is a VOC blocking solution. Safe Seal is ideal for surfaces that won't end up being touched or handled. You could apply it to plywood and building materials that will be covered up with finishes, or in furniture pieces that have a plywood or pressed wood at the interior of the furniture. You may find an exposed edge that has not been finished on pressed wood furniture or materials inside your camper that you could seal with Safe Seal. Before you start, it's a good idea to just spot test an area to ensure that you're happy with the finished product. You'll then want to clean the surface you'll be painting and let it dry completely before you adhere the Safe Seal to it. Safe Seal has kind of like a milky liquid appearance, and the texture does dry clear, but you'll want to let it dry completely about 2 hours, and then you'll repeat the process 2 to 3 times to make sure that you really are stopping that off-gassing. You can also use hard seal, which is going to be better for a material that is going to be touched a lot. It's best for finished surfaces and, like, again, items that are just going to be like a high touch area. It stops off-gassing VOCs and also prevents that formaldehyde. So it's a great option for the interior of a camper that is just going to have plywood. Whether you want to overhaul the inside or you want to just spruce it up a little bit, these camper remodel ideas are all projects you can use to reduce toxins inside your camper. So obviously, a coat of fresh paint, especially if you're going lighter, can brighten and update any space, and this is probably the most effective project when it comes to a camper remodel. Be sure to use a VOC-free paint like ECOS, and then you can seal it with a product like AFM Ecolac just to keep it lasting for a really long time. I also love the idea of updating the flooring inside your space. Now, if you have the opportunity to rip out flooring and install new, I would definitely go that route. But if you just can't rip out glued down linoleum or vinyl, you can seal it with AFM SafeCoat VOC Blocker and then add your new flooring on top of it. I recommend a hard surface, low toxin vinyl for a camper remodel, just for use and functionability. If you can, opt for 100% natural latex foam, and if you can find it, Goals certified is best. I've heard people reusing mattress toppers for this or purchasing their own from a company like Natural Upholstery, which I have linked in the blog post. They sell foam for furniture projects that it's toxin free. You can also replace foam with a cotton batting or fill, which may just require a little more work on your end. A camper remodel project just isn't really complete without updating the textiles inside. So fabrics are a great way to update your space, and you can find some excellent options out there that are also low toxin. You could look for a cotton or a linen. It's a great fabric option. I also really like hemp and bamboo for sustainable fabrics. And then if you have to replace any plywood or wood, be sure to opt for either an unfinished hardwood or a formaldehyde-free plywood. So linked on the blog this week, I have all of these items that you can just click on links and go get. They will get you started on your camper project. And this is my favorite part, the camper remodel ideas. I have all of these linked and shared on the blog this week. Each of these are projects that you could completely turn into a low toxin project for yourself if you're going to be remodeling a camper. So it has to be one of the best parts about having a camper, getting to explore the outdoors and other areas of the country and world. And imagine being able to come back to a low toxin space afterwards. Camping is one of the best ways to reset your circadian rhythm, detox from indoor spaces, and truly rest. And I love it even more now that we have an option to take our healthy house with us while we do these things as a family. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you were able to get some information to either save for the future or use right now if you are on board for remodeling a camper. I'll be back again next week with another healthy house tip on creating an indoor space that really supports your health and wellness.